everyone. I'm Anita Bottajo, Pop-Up Magazine's executive editor. This is the Pop-Up Magazine After Party, a behind-the-scenes look at how we made some of the stories you saw in our first online show, the spring issue at home. Now, if you haven't seen the show yet, no worries. You can still enjoy this video. Just be sure to go to popupmagazine.com/watch and check out the show afterward. All right, let's get this party started. First things first, a party needs people.
What's up, Anita? Hey.
Hey, Anna. Anna is one of our story producers and a co-host of the show. Anna, I was just thinking about what else we could use to kick off this party.
I feel like you've got a pretty good start, but I think every great party needs some music. And every great party needs drinks.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers.
And thanks so much to everyone at Pop-Up Magazine who helped make the show possible.
And to everybody at home, grab a drink and keep watching to hear more from our amazing storytellers and producers about how they made the show happen. Enjoy. All right. Hey, y'all. I'm Anna. I'm a producer at Pop-Up, and this is...
Oh, am I going to introduce myself?
I think we should do that, yeah.
Hey, this is MOHANAD ELSHIEKY. I'm a Pop-Up Magazine 2 times MVP.
That's perfect. MOHANAD, you told an incredible story in the show about a bus ride that went super wrong. And was this a year ago? Our last spring tour, you also told a story about an Uber ride that went incredibly wrong, right?
Yes.
So at this point, you are functionally our transportation correspondent.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a good story that had to do with transportation.
Even walking? Like, you think that walking is a little bit less dicey, or is it just as dicey?
I think my issue is with moving in general. I feel like if I stand up right now, the couch will move with me.
Do you want to test it out? Should we test it out?
Yeah, we can do it. Okay, well, everyone, I'm going to take you to a trip to my kitchen. It's my morning and evening commute, and sometimes night commute as well, because I have nowhere else to go but my kitchen, and I love it. You know, I love doing that. So let's start this journey. So yeah, I usually start moving. I mean, I moved from this couch, which is great for me. Mm-hmm. I love that. And on my way, I usually like to play some piano.
Wow, yeah, you need a musical break.
Yeah, and it's usually, I only play it when it's off. You know, it's I like to think of it as a metaphor for me not being able to play it. It's good. Yeah, it works for me every time. And yeah, and then I look at this, I'm like, it says The New Yorker, just to remind myself where I am, you know?
Totally. And wait, those two plants are thriving. We had a story in the show about plants also, and those look like they're doing really, are they fake?
Yes, they are. That's why they're doing really well. Yeah. I'm going to start moving to the kitchen. I'm going to do it backward just to, you know, spice things up, just to make a challenge for myself. I like to do that every morning just to have fun. I have some sneakers down there that I'm not going to show you. They're very shy. They haven't moved in a while, so they're not really. They don't know how to interact with people anymore. So I'm like letting them chill. That's my door that I never use. One day I'll open it and see what's out there. But for now, there's nothing. Yeah, this is my kitchen. You know. I have a fridge, which is something very rare to have, as I've heard. I think I'm the only person in the city with a fridge, and at least that's what I tell myself. And you know what? I start my morning by taking this and just like drinking from it, just to start the action, because I'm not a coward. You know, some people are gonna say that I'm slowly losing it, and that's not true. I'm losing it really quick. Let's go back to the couch now, and this time do it backward again, just to show you how impressive it is what I do. This time it's even faster, you know, because it's just a rush hour right now, and I want to get home, which is the couch, as soon as I can.
It looks like this is the evening commute now, huh?
It is, and evening commutes are usually like busier because everyone is like getting off their couches at the same time.
Well, cheers to that. Thanks for taking us on that journey.
Of course, yeah, cheers.
So my name is Aaron Edwards. I'm senior producer and co-host at Pop-Up Magazine, and this is DARRYL CHENG, the founder and creator of Houseplant Journal, the Instagram account, YouTube page, wonderful book, The New Plant Parent. And I really thought it was important to have DARRYL in the show because, you know, we've all been at home now for a long time, longer than I think a lot of us would like to be. And the only companions that I have right now are my houseplants. So one thing I'm curious about, DARRYL, is how you felt about the show and the whole concept when I first approached you about it.
I always appreciate the narrative, right? Like, what are people's stories when it comes to their plants? And particularly about the plant death part, which is that I always joke about how people, they show off their new plants on Instagram and then they just quietly throw them away without anyone knowing. Once you know, they've, I don't know, it watered it too much or whatever, right? The idea of bringing these things to light, yeah, really appealed to me when you first told me.
One thing I wanted to ask you about, DARRYL, and you kind of get into this in the story that we made, is perfection and why we're so obsessed with perfection. Like, whenever we see that yellow leaf, we freak out and we're like, oh, I'm not good enough. I can't take care of plants. I'm a plant killer. I don't know what I'm doing. Why is it something people get so hung up on? And why do we take on that for ourselves so much, do you think?
Okay, let's say if we don't talk about plants and we just talk about ourselves, right? We would say that if our life is perfect, then it means that we are in total control, right? It's perfection and control together that is the issue, right? So, I mean, that if we now talk about the plant thing, it's that if the plant doesn't look perfect anymore, then in order for me to say that there's something wrong with it, it implies it's under my control. So I want to do something about it, right? So when we tell people like, oh, it's a yellow leaf, maybe you're overwatering, it's a brown tip, maybe you need to raise the humidity, it gives you the impression that you are still in control. So therefore, just raise your humidity to 70% or something ridiculous. Just try to water correctly and all that stuff, right? And it seems like in plant care, we let this go because, well, it's just a plant, right? So, but for me, I rather tell people, no, that's just how it is. You only have this size window. Well, that's the best your plant can do.
I'm gonna try my best to let it go. I'm gonna take your advice. DARRYL, working with you on this piece has been like such a joy, and I've learned so much about just, you know, about plant care, about myself, trying to tell these stories. And, you know, I've been a fan of yours already for a while. So it's so cool to get to actually make something with you. So thanks for being in the show. Thanks for helping us all think differently about our plants and ourselves. And cheers to that.
Yeah.
Water.
My name is Maren Kogan. I'm a senior producer and co-host at Pop-Up Magazine. Before we go any further, if you haven't seen our show already, head over to our website, popupmagazine.com/watch, for an hour-long series of stories about doctors, mariachi, dance, and so much more. The story I worked on for the show is one of the most powerful pieces I've ever worked on. I want to introduce our contributor, Emily Silverman. She is the creator and host of The Nocturnists, a podcast and live storytelling show in which doctors share true stories about their lives in medicine. She did an amazing story with us about a medical student named Allison who is seeing her path to becoming a doctor upended by the pandemic. It's part of a larger series that the Nocturnists is doing about healthcare workers in the time of coronavirus. So I just want to welcome you, Emily, and say cheers because this is an amazing piece.
Cheers, Maren. Thanks so much for having me.
So One of the things I wanted to talk to you about that I found really interesting was that, you know, there are all these sort of rites of passage to becoming a doctor. There's match day, the first day of your residency, graduation, and Allison had a thought about how that would all go. She had some idea about how that would go because so many doctors go through that process. And then the pandemic hit and totally changed everything.
I just can't imagine what it would be like to be a medical student and to not have all of those traditional milestones. And then also to see her going through a very different rite of passage, which is to becoming of age in this completely distorted, surreal time of a global pandemic.
You know, we were thinking when this all happened, how can we use what we do to try to highlight stories that are going to be really important right now? And we were just looking around at the landscape and really no one was doing that better than Emily. I mean, what the Nocturnists is doing is incredible.
And I think one of the things that's been most exciting about this collaboration is taking a project that originated as an audio project and layering on the illustration and the original score and learning about how the material can be stretched in new ways. And there were just moments in the video that you all made that really gripped me. I can think of a couple examples, like the moment where she's sitting at the desk and she gets the email and the illustration shows her feet on top of each other. Like there's something about that image that was really emotional to me. Coming up from behind Allison's head when she gets called to see the patient with the blood pressure dropping, and all you see is the back of her head and then the gurney and everything is facing you. And to me, that felt almost like a simulation or a video game. Like you are really looking at the patient through Allison's eyes and seeing this low blood pressure. And it's almost like you're in a flight simulator and you're like, oh God, this is on me. What do I do next? It made me think a lot about our existing material and all of this untapped potential should we choose to spin out different stories in different directions.
Emily, I think I could talk to you about this stuff all night. I've learned so much just from working with you on this story. And I just want to say, you know, on behalf of all of us, thank you so much for sharing Allison's story with us. We're so grateful that you were a part of this and we hope you enjoyed it.